From the beginning, we've dreamed of creating a better future. Now, we're setting out to be carbon neutral by 2050. And we're going to keep dreaming, no matter where we go.
We survey CEOs, police officers, truck drivers, cooks, engineers. If people are working, we've surveyed them. And what we know in terms of their happiness, workers all want the same things. There's 3 billion working people in the world, and about 40% of them would say they're happy at work. That means about 1.8 billion, or almost 2 billion people, are not happy at work. What does that do, both to those people and the organizations that they work in? Well, let's talk about money. Organizations that have a lot of happy employees have 3 times the revenue growth compared to organizations where that's not true. They outperform the stock market by a factor of 3. And if you look at employee turnover, it's half that of organizations that have a lot of unhappy employees. The miracle thing is you don't have to spend more money to make this happen. It's not about ping pong tables and massages and pet walking. It's not about the perks. It's all about how they're treated by their leaders and by the people that they work with. So I'd like to share a few ideas that create happy employees. Idea number 1, in organizations where employees are happy, what you find is 2 things are present: trust and respect. Leaders often say, we trust our employees, we empower our employees. And then when an employee needs a laptop, and this is a true example, 15 people have to approve that laptop. So for the employee, all the words are right, but 15 levels of approval for a $1,500 laptop, you've actually spent more money than the laptop on the approval. And the employee feels maybe they're really not trusted. So what can an organization do to have a high level of trust? The first organization that comes to mind is Four Seasons. They have magnificent properties all around the world. And their employees are told, do whatever you think is right when servicing the customer. To hand that trust to your employees to do whatever they think is right makes the employees feel great. And this is why they're known for delivering some of the best service in the world. Idea number 2, fairness. The thing that erodes trust in an organization faster than anything else is when employees feel that they're being treated unfairly. Employees want to be treated the same, regardless of their rank or their tenure or their age or their experience or their job category compared to anyone else. When I think about great organizations who get fairness right, the first organization that comes to mind is Salesforce. They found that men and women working in the same job with the same level of proficiency were making different amounts of money. So immediately they calculated the difference and they invested $3 million to try and balance things out. Idea number 3 is listening. So to be a listener who connects with all types of people, we have to unlearn a few things. We've all been taught about active listening and eye contact, an intense stare, and a compassionate look. That's not listening. Repeating what the person says, that's not listening. Being humble and always hunting and searching for the best idea possible, that's what listening is. And employees can feel whether you're doing that or not. They want to know when they talk to you and share an idea, did you consider it when you made a decision? The one thing that everybody appreciates and wants when they're speaking is to know that what they say matters so much, you might actually change your mind. Otherwise, what's the point of the conversation? We all know the things we need to change, the things that we need to do differently. The way you behave, the way you treat others, the way you respond, the way you support defines the work experience for everyone around you. Changing to be a better person, the world is littered with those failures. But changing because there's something you believe in, some purpose that you have, where you're willing to risk almost everything because it's so important to you. That's the reason to change. If it's not, you should probably find a different place to work.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Welcome to episode 120 of the REALL Academy that is brought to you by Create and Educate LLC with your Leadership DoctHers. I'm Dr. Tammy Taylor, and I'm here with you this morning with my trustmate in education, Dr. Sheka Houston, and we are elated that you've chosen to spend some time with us this morning. I'm out of town, actually. Attended my nephew and new niece's wedding on last night. So I want to say congratulations again to Kennard and Laisha. Beautiful wedding. Good morning, Sheka.
Good morning, Tammy. Happy Saturday, everyone, and congratulations to our new married couple. I'll be happy to see those pictures. I know they're all beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Thank you all for joining us. And if this is your first time joining us in the Real Academy, we want to let you know who we are. And as Tammy told you, we are your Leadership Doctors, HERS. And we have served in multiple positions as educators at the school level, district level, teaching and leadership. But with our dynamic staff members and students, we raised our report card grade levels 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year, which that's atypical growth that normally takes 3 to 5 years. We have about 48 years of experience between the two of us, and that's including that district and building level leadership. We have won awards with our school and staff members as well. So we are happy that you all are here with us. Are you on mute, Tammy? So what we do, we support leaders through coaching and professional development. I don't know if Tammy is
With
frozen.
districts both in and out of South Carolina. We have presented to education audiences all over the world about our practices and our transformation system.
And Tammy, I think I know you're at the hotel, so your Wi-Fi may be lagging just a little bit. Um, Yep. So can you go through the comments too? What
Yes.
we offer the Leadership Trustmate Institute for all of our leaders and aspiring leaders. We also have Build My Sister that is for Black women in leadership and aspiring Black women in leadership. We offer professional development on transformation, literacy, MTSS, generational studies, and customized training. If you would like to take your leadership skills to the next level, your practices to the next level, collaborate with some of the best, have ongoing support, and also a trusted thought partners to transform your organization, make sure that you reach out to us. We have a university partnership that we are very excited about to create this space for collaboration with the University of South Carolina. So we'll be telling you more about an upcoming event. But to contact us for anything that you would like to do with us, please fill out our um, form on our website or email us. And I don't know, I may be frozen now. Am I frozen?
I can't tell if it's you or me, but it is going in and out.
Okay, so excuse the technical difficulties this morning. We apologize. Let me add that. Okay, it's just going slow. So we have a very important and exciting announcement to make. Tammy and I participated in a um, competition this past week, or past 10 weeks rather.
Yes,
So let me get this.
please make sure you say those 10 weeks.
Yes, 10 weeks. And I've already revealed it, but so we are actually your 2023 Leap Fund winners. A group of judges chose our pitch as well as our business plan in order to fund the work that we're doing, the work that we just told you about. So we are so excited about that and very thankful to the local Entrepreneur Accelerator Program and everyone that is involved with that initiative, to include Wells Fargo and Truist Bank. When people believe in what you are doing to help leaders and children, that is something to be excited about. So we appreciate you all for joining in every Saturday to hear the things that we're trying to help you with, and there's going to be more to come. So thank you all so much for your congratulations and that those organizations. So that brings us to our topic. And as you saw from the video, we always have our intro video to kind of lead into the topic. We're talking today about how do you develop a thriving culture for your school or organization. And as you saw, um, there's many misconceptions about around how we do that. Sometimes you hear people, and I've heard people say, I'm not worried about making people happy. I just want them to do their jobs. So, as we saw from the video, if people are happy in their organization, they have 3 times the growth, and he talked about 3 times the revenue. They outperform other organizations 3 times as much, and you have half the turnover. So, if those are things that could help you currently in your organization, growth, less turnover, let us know. Put that in the chat, because that is something that would definitely help in our organization. The first thing that he talked about being present was, let's see, trust. Trust and respect, which goes right into our framework, our real leadership framework, that trust and respect needs to be there. And I'm going to pull that back up so you can see it. So, how do you show people in your organization that you trust and respect them? Or if you're not the leader, what is being done in your organization for people to show that they trust and respect you? So put that in the comments just to let us know. Um, we had a conversation this morning about that, and as we prepared for this, that you definitely have to make people feel empowered. There were some other things that you mentioned too around micromanagement. Tammy, did you want to go into that?
Yeah, I was just saying, one of the things that Shika and I had talked about, and we often talk about how the leadership that you provide sometimes needs to be based on the leadership that you need. And if you're the kind of leader who doesn't like to be micromanaged and um, made to feel untrustworthy, then you should definitely treat your people in a way that lets them know that there is trust there and that you are encouraging them to be empowered to do the work that needs to be done in your school. And one of the things that leads us to that kind of work is what we were talking about, Shika, with just knowing each other.
Hmm. Exactly, because you can't really show people that you trust or respect them, and you can't really respect people if you don't know who they don't know who you are. So creating those spaces for people to know one another are so important. And it has to go beyond that beginning of the year entrance conference. The beginning of the year entrance conference is great. But from a 5-minute conversation, I cannot say that you know me very well, and I can't even say that I know you very well. I know some things about you. I may be able to convey some things about myself in that meeting, that short meeting, but that does not mean that we know each other the way that we need to have that respect, which is the door of our framework, and that trust that was talked about in the video. So we talked about some other ways, creative things like hallway would you rather. You could put would you rather polls in your newsletters. That way everybody can see the results of those things, and you can kind of see what some things are that people are preferring in the building, and they can see what their colleagues are preferring as well. And also some self-awareness activities, SEL, at the beginning of some of your meetings would be helpful. And I've seen some things on the comments about not being quick to judge professionalism based on one mistake. I agree. And then giving people autonomy to make decisions. And let me greet everyone while we're getting ready to go to the next thing. Rail Purposeful, thank you all for joining us. Principal Sean Hurt, which his message this morning feeds right into what we're talking about, filling those
Definitely.
tanks and buckets and making sure people don't burn out this time of year. Principal Rashard Davis from Las Vegas, Miss September, thank you for joining us. Kenyelle Williams, George Mumford, Principal Sherrod Laws, Principal Dot McKeever Jeter, Deidre Stover out of Alabama. Glad you're feeling better, Deidre. Melissa Jones Chunu, who we'll be hearing next with Principal Kafele, Cynthia Farmer, Margaret Simpson Lockhart, thank you for joining us. Stacy Joyce, and I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, Principal Kafele, thank you for joining us. Edwin Garcia and Valerie Macy, thank you all so much for joining us.
And Shika, before we transition, I wanted to just share one of the things that we also were talking about before about that getting to know you piece. If we don't reveal ourselves to our staff and make them aware
Mhm.
of who we are, then sometimes they draw their own conclusions based on what they observe with you. And when you are in leadership mode, that doesn't necessarily reflect who you are. So you have to be willing to show your staff or allow them the opportunity to get to know who you are, to get to know your heart and why you are doing the work that you're doing, not just from an educationese perspective where they hear you and they see your why and you have your why posted and you have helped them to generate the mission and the vision of the school, but beyond that where they're able to feel the passion that you have for the work that you're doing because you're there because for many of us we're on assignment, we're there to do what we've been assigned to do, and it helps when they can feel that passion because then they can join you in the efforts that you're making to make your school the success that you want it to be.
Most definitely. And when we're talking about transforming cultures and cultivating thriving cultures in a school, that's multifaceted. So it's teachers, it's staff members, other employees, your students, your parents are all a part of that. And when we were talking about that little hallway, would you rather, or the survey, would you rather, and just being intentional about going around to people and creating spaces to talk about more than just the business of school. You really have to get to know people. And when they're getting to know you, you have to be transparent about things that you have going on. It's more than your PowerPoint at the beginning of the year with your pictures of your family on it. They really need to know your heart and some of the things that you're passionate about and your why behind things. But not just always shop talk. It has to go beyond the business of school.
Absolutely.
So the next thing, and I know that we won't finish for today, was fairness. And as we talked about fairness, it can't just be that you're thinking that fairness definitely isn't everything happens the same way for everyone. Sometimes there's extenuating circumstances where something might have to happen for someone, where, we're making sure that we're all human and we're being treated fairly. So it's not showing favoritism, but that transparency in that sometimes when a colleague needs something that you may need later, I'm fair enough to be able to provide what is needed for us to all be our best selves.
And to make sure that there's that consistency there because fair doesn't mean the same necessarily, but fair does mean consistent because you are consistently doing what you need to do. And as leaders, we know that leadership is so situational. It depends on the situation, how you are to respond to that. But just making sure that your staff and your students and your parents know that you're consistent in the way that you handle people. And that goes back to that door of respect. If your folks know that you can be trusted and that you respect them, not just as professionals, but as people, then you really don't get a whole lot of questioning about whether or not you're fair.
And I like what Valerie put, equity, not equality, give people what they need. And then Edwin mentioned empathy, and those definitely go hand in hand. I agree with those wholeheartedly. And that last one is listen, what Principal Hurt was just talking about. You have to really listen to people and hear what they're saying, not just listen to be able to respond or follow listening to see when I need to interject a policy, but really listening to people, being able to read the room to know, I had this plan today, but reading the room, this is not good. We're gonna have to shift gears and go to something else. But
And I'll change it based on your feedback.
exactly. When you're having something and you're getting feedback from people and you're just only giving the reasons why, well, that sounds good, but we really just need to do this, that shuts people down. People feel like, if you're really listening to me, then when you're hearing what I'm saying, my input could have you to change your decision. So,
Yeah.
one of
And
the
she could, Principal Hart, use your George Jefferson. And like me, I'm that person. Like you, I am not going to expend any energy. I conserve all my energy for good things. And I'm not going to expend energy on anything that's not productive.
exactly. And with listening as well, you have to make sure that you are in the one of the things where I'm on the board for the hospital. They have these employee innovation meetings. So create spaces where when you have problems, you're opening up that space for teachers to come and through their lens work through a workshop solving the problems and let them present, hey, this is the way I think this should be solved. Because when you're the only one solving the problems, then the only lens that you have is yours. That could be a parenting
Yeah.
session. Let's come in and
And
work through some of
students
these
too.
problems. Exactly. So involving the key players in that. So we are getting ready to join Principal Kafele and Melissa Jones Chunu will be on next. We are so excited to hear her. But
Can't
we
wait, Melissa.
also wanted to tell you about an event that we have coming up with our partnership with USC. If you are here in South Carolina, please come out on December the 9th to Build My Sister Collaborative, where we are creating these safe spaces and also a space for Black women in leadership to find those support structures and collaborate. You can email us to RSVP, and we hope to see you there. We also will be presenting at the NatCon conference November 28th through the 30th in San Diego, California. So we hope to see you as well. And please don't forget to continue to tune in to the Fantastic Four Saturday starting at 10 a.m. with Principal Sean Hurt. Create and Educate us here at 10:30, Principal Kafele at 10:55, and Unlock the Middle with Josh and Dean on Sundays at 7:30. So we hope that you all continue to thrive this Saturday and the rest of the week. And if we don't see you, we won't see you before Thanksgiving. Happy
Happy
Thanksgiving. We hope you all
Thanksgiving.
have an amazing break.
And a
Thank
great
you.
rest of your day, guys. Thank y'all.